Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do a review of DEUS VULT's graphic novel. It's an Indiegogo campaign made by, let me real quick, John Delarose, Jesse White Macrox, and James Reed. I backed this because I really like the art. I'm a big fan of Jesse White's art because it's a throwback to the comics that I like the most and still like the most, and that's comics from the 70s, 80s, maybe 90s. And this is exactly in my alley. Also with the colors, great stuff. I especially noticed that the comic is very light, although it's 66 pages around that, and maybe it has to do with the with the paper stock. I'm not entirely sure. Because normally when I open a new book, I just automatically smell the ink. But when I did that here, I didn't smell anything. So that was a little bit weird for me because I haven't experienced that at all. So before we dive in, I have to address the elephant in the room. And that's for me is the cover. I don't like the cover at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of, high fantasy, sword and sorcery stuff like, Boris Vallejo, Frank Frazetta. And this is more like a homage or a throwback to it. But when I see this, I think, oh man, there's something that here that I didn't like, and it could be way better. And the thing that is for me personally is the main protagonist here, because this image is way too dark for my taste. I mean, it seems that there's a lot of shadow, and then this cat girl is you see her in full glory. You see her features, you see the colors, you see the shadows, but then we see here he is, I don't know, maybe has to do with the light that comes into the sword or catches the sword and then it reflects on it. Could be, but then something also needs to, it doesn't make any sense for me. So I wish there was more detail in it, so less dark, and it would be better. But hey, that's me personally. That's probably my biggest gripe on the whole comic, yeah. And if that's my biggest gripe, so that must mean that's a good comic, right? Well, yeah. So let's dive in. There's some things that I didn't like, but I'm gonna address that along the way. So let's dive in first. So what is all about? This is a more like a throwback. Well, no, let me rephrase that. It's the year of our Lord 1099, and the story of the main protagonist is Sir Domingo. He's a Spanish knight and a holy crusader, and he is being, called back, or going back to his kingdom. He is overthrown with his, with his army, or the army of the king that he works for or is employed for. How do you say that? Working for the king? No, the king ordered him. Okay, this is going the wrong way already. No, the king ordered him to, overthrow some kind of other kingdom or enemy, and he needs to go back and to ask the king for more troops for reinforcements. Something like that. That's it, and let's forget about it. So he's going on a quest, and what I especially like is that all are done in homage to John Buscema. And John Buscema, along with Sal Buscema, is probably one of my favorite artists ever. And there's a lot of things in here that reminds me of John and Sal Buscema's art. Also, special shout out to Matt Crox's color. I'm gonna, come back a little bit that later, but normally, I can address it now. Normally, when you see new comics, it's been highly saturated, full of flashy effects and other stuff. This is way more toned down, like in the 70s, like in the 80s. It feels like that the colors are, being hand colored, but I don't think so, but I'm not entirely sure either. I love the colors. It's great. It's exactly how it should be. If this comic was made with flashy colors and high techniques, the impact was way less for me, I think. This is perfect for what it is. And if you told me that this is a comic, maybe a remastered comic that, has been made in the 70s, 80s, and it's been remastered, I would have believed you, right? Because it has the same feel, the same pacing, the same structure, the same arts, the same colors, or similar, maybe something like that. And I love everything about it. And the whole comic, the whole graphic novel, everything in here, I adore. It's beautiful. So, okay, skipping a few pages, well, not much, but it seems that the Crusader, so Domingo, is being tricked by the sorcerers. They want to sacrifice it for the god for power and strength, but then he is getting, rescued by this cat girl, and she is called Mina, of a cat race called Kitchen. And that's a little bit on the nose, I think. I mean, kittens, kitchen, Kitayan. I don't know. It's I don't like that. But hey, yeah. So it seems that so Domingo is pondering about getting the chalice because he thought that this was the chalice of God. The Holy Grail, and it seems that the Holy Grail actually exists, and that it was, it's been held by the Demon King in his realm, and so Domingo says, "Well, I'm gonna go and get the chalice because he works for God." And I also love that the text, the writing, is in vain of what happened in that time period. They don't speak in modern language at all, so that's great stuff. And so Domingo is a very, very religious guy. Yeah, as a Holy Crusader, you must be. So, and but the demon, Demon King, if you will, that's his name. He gets wind of it, and he sends a minion to deal with Sir Domingo, and he ponders that, it seems that there's also more realms than one, 7 in total, and he is, ruler of one of them, and basically he wants to rule them all. And you can clearly see that Jesse has, well, that's what I think. The Demon King is more like a homage or inspiration from Marvel's Mephisto. He looks a lot like him, and I think it's great stuff. I love old school Mephisto, and the Demon King looks a lot like him, acts more like him. So great stuff. And again, you say great art, great color work, and the knight decides to help the cat people because they are being, held captive, or being, how do you say? What's the word? Enslaved by the Demon King, work in the mines, etc., etc. If maybe another criticism that I have, so the monster that the Demon King sends here, and he says "Gwar," and then he just comes over here, and then he comes out of the woods, and the cat guy says, "What are you?" And he says, "Gwar." It looks a little bit, it doesn't come over as real threatening. I mean, why not, use something like this, do a sound font, and then remove the balloon, and then this goes, growl, makes it more impactful instead from growl. But hey, minor details, but I want to address them. Skipping a few pages, they go to the cat people's city, and then the cat people, I don't know, worship him somehow because they think he's a man of the prophecies, and there's a statue of him here, and he is in awe what happened here, and he cannot believe his eyes. He says, "Great Caesar's ghost, I believe in divine purpose, but this is absurd." I love that. And then the city is shaking, and the demon bursts in and throws a stone at the people, and it hits the statue. The statue breaks off, but only the sword is still remaining, and he pulls it out, like from the sword in the stone thing. I forget, those fantasy. What am I trying to say? It's the sword in the stone. Is that from? Isn't that from King Arthur? I believe it's from King Arthur. Could be wrong, but I think it's King Arthur. So he pulls it out and he deals with the monster, chops off his head, and then I can show it here. Looks great. It looks just great. So skipping a few pages, Nina is getting transported by, to the Demon King's realm because there are some infiltrators in the disguised demons disguised as cat people infiltrated into the city. And then, the Demon King wants to, how do you say, seduce her with power and wealth. And then, Nina doesn't want that because she says, hey, you're evil, I don't want that. And he's getting angry, is punishing her. Great stuff. It reminds me also a little bit, maybe it has nothing to do with that, when Mephisto has captured Shalabal, from the Silver Surfer, and then he is torturing her as well. It reminds me a little bit of that. It's great stuff. I mean, there's a lot of throwbacks from those time areas and from those comics, and I love that. And there's more of that, by the way. I'm going to show you a little bit later. So skipping a few pages, I don't want to show you everything. So Sir Domingo, rallies up the cat people and to revolt against the Demon King, and they need to fight for their lives and etc. stuff like that. So they're gonna do a call to arms, if you will, and go to battle against the Demon King. That's great stuff. So that's exactly what's going to happen. But in the meantime, Sir Domingo finds a way to the Demon King's realm. Because there's some in the mines where the cat people are mining, there's some kind of a hidden structure, or one of the elders find a gateway to that realm, or a portal to that realm. So he goes there, and look at this. It's great. It's just great. Can't get over it how good the art is. Maybe a little bit more of a thing that I wish there was more detailed backgrounds. There is backgrounds here, but I wish it was more, I don't know, instead of, this drab thing here in the castle, I don't know, maybe just more, more detail. But that's just it. That's me. I mean, look at this page. This is great. Flying gorillas instead of flying monkeys. So there's a battle between the cat people and the monkeys, and even the demon. The Demon King enters the battlefield, and for instance, this is great stuff. So this I don't know, demon wizard thing, shoots an energy blast magic thing at him, and he splits them in two here. This looks great, looks amazing, and he just absorbs the magic energy and hurls it back to to the enemy, and they are just disintegrating. Great stuff, really great. Okay, let's move on. So here, Demon King enters. He battles the Killian with ease, and then this is also great stuff. Look at this, skeletons. Who doesn't love skeletons, right? So the knight finds Nina, he rescues her, and they together go to the demon realm, and they are transported into some kind of look at this, in-between zone, some, if you will. And going back for what I said earlier, this reminds me a lot of a comic from, I believe, the Incredible Hulk, when he was out of control and wild, and then he doesn't has Bruce Banner as is it Bruce Banner? Or, well, he went completely nuts, and there was no shed of humanity in him anymore. And Doctor Strange teleported him to this realm called the Crossroads, and he can only survive when he goes through these portals, to get to eat and drink, etc. And then, when things go wrong, he always teleports back to the Crossroads to, start over and over. Great stuff. So, okay. They're battling some demons here, and also Cerberus. I believe it's Cerberus. Skipping a few pages again. Here, looks again, great stuff. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just can't help how good this all looks. Okay, skipping a few pages. So, also here, Sir Domingo battling skeleton warriors. Also reminds me of, the movie Sinbad, or Jason and the Argonauts. Great stuff, again. But then it's a little bit weird. So Nina noticed there is a crystal standing there, and in some kind of I don't know, is this an island or some part land? And I don't know. And she says, hey, this is the source of the Demon King's powers. I mean, why would you leave your power source in the middle of your realm with no guards or protection? It just stands there. So Domingo throws his sword, and the crystal explodes. The skeletons dissolve, and he is getting hit before that, and he falls into the water. What I find a little bit strange is that wait, we are 50 minutes already. Jesus Christ, I need to hurry. There's no blood. I mean, you're getting hit by, I don't know, an axe in the back. So he sinks to the bottom, but then he has a vision, and I really love the scene. He says, I came to the realm on a quest from God. And it says, what is the secret of the Holy Grail? I made a commitment. It is unfinished. Who does it serve? An unknown voice says. It says, the Grail is your object, my lord. It serves you, as do I. And then he says, the cup has graced the Lord's lips. It's beautiful. And I am triumphant. And he rises from the water. I love that. The only thing that misses here is a bombastic, heroic music, that you hear in the background from a movie or a TV series. When you rise up and then he says that. Great stuff. So, but the Demon King is not happy. So he says, drop the chalice or I'll kill the girl. He drops it. He kills her anyway. And there is a great fucking battle between the knight and and the Demon King, and this looks exactly from the pages of Marvel or DC comics from back in the day. Spectacular stuff. But Sashi, she's not Sashi. Why am I saying Sashi's not? Sashi is the artist of the. I'm sorry for the second cover of DEUS VULT. I mean Nina, she's not completely dead. She distracts the Demon King, and the Demon King does something, he dies. So spoilers. I'm going to leave the link. Yeah, I want to leave the link in the description. That's not what I'm trying to say. When I make this video on YouTube and I'm going to release it, I'm going to point it out that this is a spoiler-heavy comic review. Sorry. And yeah, he dies. But not all is lost. The chalice, the wine or fluid that's in there, releases, and then the demon realm is filled with roses and flowers, and then Nina is coming back to life, and they flee together through a portal because the demon realm is crushing and everything is falling apart. And then I'm not going to show you the ending, but let's say the knight is waking up in a monastery, and the people from the monastery found him alone, and he thinks it's all a dream, but he also believes there is more out there than he thinks it is, because he thought, well, maybe it was all a dream, maybe it's all a vision, and everything that happened isn't real, but maybe it is, stuff like that. Great stuff. And then we see some bios, and also from Nina and the Demon King. And I'm pretty sure this image is a homage to, well, I'm filling in the blanks, but I think this is a homage to Belasco from the X-Men. There is, if you Google Belasco, there's a scene that he's standing like this, or maybe Mephisto also, not entirely sure, or Belasco or Mephisto, not sure, but it's definitely a homage to one of these demon characters. Love it. We have a map here. We have some prints of an art. Who did this, by the way? I have no idea. Wait a minute. Maybe it's seen in front of the book. Back cover art. Pin-up art by Bill Wheatley and Matt Crocs. Back cover of Jed Lashley and James Crocs. This is the back cover. Looks great. So we almost at the 20-minute mark. That's way too long, so I'm ending the video. I love it. I want more. I want more DEUS VULT. I want more Nina. I want more this guy. Sir Domingo, he's a great guy. Yes, definitely a big thumbs up. I'll leave the link in the description when it comes to the campaign. It's still active. Guys, thank you for watching. Please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, like my video, share my video, and I'll see you next time.